What's going on YouTube? It is Mr. Ferguson here once again. Thank you guys for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina. Got my hair chopped up a little bit. I don't know how Pete does it, my brother. I tried to grow my hair out. I was seeing if I could do it. I'm always wearing a hat. Feel like a big blob of disgustingness. So I finally gave in. My daughter was sitting at dinner. She's like, Dad, why don't you go get your hair cut? So I went back to my roots, to the military haircut. But thank you guys for tuning in today. I've got the sweatshirt on because this is one of the more chilliest days. I've got some crap in my chest too, so my voice sounds weird. It's not you, it's me. It's got the phlegm, got the allergies, the pollen's in the air, so I apologize for that. But this morning is one of the cooler nights we had last night. As I was mentioning to somebody, they're like, Mr. Ferguson, I don't know, it may be too early for fungicide, but we're already in the mid-50s in our soil temps right now. We're continuing to climb. So last video we talked about seeing some possible fungus in the lawn. I'm not 100% sure that that is fungus, but I'm only seeing it down here in this area by my shed in the lawn. So I'm not taking any chances. We applied some preventative with the Pete's Natural Adjuvant with azoxystrobin, propiconazole. It is expensive products, but we've now covered ourselves for the next 25 or so days, and we'll observe. And so if you get ahead of it, you can prevent, and we'll see if this stuff grows out. We chop it up. We'll keep an eye on the fungus there. But thank you for tuning in today. Thank you to the couple that a couple people I think became channel members, emotes, and the you get the videos earlier depending on which package you choose. So thank you to the new channel members, the lawn freaks. And we're going to try to do a live stream here soon on the phone. I don't know if I want to do it next week. I think we may try to do it next Thursday or something like that. Maybe next Friday. It depends. I got work schedule and stuff like that. But we'll try to do another live stream where you can see those badges, you can use those emotes and stuff like that, and so be checking for that. I'll put out more information as we go. So I had a couple people asking about the green shoots. If you recall, it's the foam applicator, it's glyphosate, it's a gel type with a little bit of blue dye in it, and we placed that on the Poa triv, and some people's like, Mr. Ferguson, did that work? What's your thoughts on it? So I want to take the camera and show you what those spots are looking like. We'll just look at the 2 or 3 here in my backyard, and then we'll do a quick discussion for some newcomers. So let's go over here, let's take a look at the green shoots. Let's give you a final update on that, my thoughts of it, what I think about it, how it worked, and yeah, let's go take a look. All right, guys, so we're going to take a look real fast at green shoots, and again, as I was mentioning, it's glyphosate. The little applicator comes out in a gel form, and we put some blue dye in it so we can see where we're applying it. The ideal and the reason why we use that is because we don't want to hurt our good grass, right? Glyphosate kills everything. Doesn't care if it's fescue, doesn't care if it's Poa triv, doesn't care what it is. Glyphosate kills all. So we took some of that. We had some Poa triv. We'll look at this first. We had some Poa triv right here, and as you can see, now it's been well over 2 weeks, and clearly it has killed off this Poa triv. You can see none of the grass around it. The fescue looks great, but it did absorb it and kill the Poa triv. Now it's a matter of pulling this grass out and maybe putting down some good triple threat seed, or we could just leave it and hope that the good grass maybe will thicken up and fill in, or if we've broken our pre-emergent barrier here, we could see weeds pop in. So we've also got to do, remember, our second application of prodiamine. So what I'm thinking is the best course for now that we've killed off the triv, we pull out the dead stuff, we do our pre-emergent app here soon, which I'm going to be doing real soon because we're getting closer and closer to the 60s in soil temperature. And once I do my last pre-emergent, we'll come back with the garden weasel, we'll break it up and actually break the barrier in these specific spots. Excuse my voice, it is struggling this morning. And then we put our seed down after we break the barrier. That way our prodiamine barrier gets everywhere here in the lawn, but we break it in these areas where we specifically want seed to grow. So I hope that makes sense. But yes, you have to be patient. I was not patient originally. As I mentioned, when you're working with 2,4-D and speed zone and things like that, it works in days, like sometimes hours you can see damage. When you're talking about glyphosate, it takes weeks, especially with the gel to be absorbed by the plant. So here's the other guy. This is the one that we did originally as our test, and I squirted it on there twice. It looks like that in the middle. I don't think that is I don't think that is poatriv. I believe that's all the green that you see there, I think, is fescue. So it has literally absorbed, the poatriv has absorbed the glyphosate. It's died off, and I'm just going to let this ride. I don't think I'm even going to put seed down. I just want to see what happens. And so I'll keep you posted as we go. This should just fade away with the sun and everything. Poatriv should start going away here soon before long anyways. But yes, the green shoots works. If you have it in your arsenal, I think you would be just fine. So that way you don't have to blanket spray. You don't have to, put a backpack sprayer full of Roundup and risk accidentally spraying somewhere you don't want to, or spilling it, or getting it on your shoes and walking through your lawn and messing up. It will target those specific weeds. If your lawn is similar to the level that I'm on, where you don't have a ton of weeds in the lawn anyways, you just want to get rid of individual ones, I think the Green Shoots is a great product. And it may be simpler just to cut out the poatriv. I think it's just, if we in the fall time, if you have some extra little pots over here like we got here, and you fill that up with some topsoil, you throw some of your extra seed from the fall in there, grow some grass, have some plugs, you could just cut out some of the poatriv and then place some of these plugs in there and then regrow some more grass. Keep watering it, put some hydrotain on it, put some RGS, whatever you want, some fertilizer, grow more grass and use it as plugs. If you're like me, I think that's the best thing to go forward, because then you're taking out the bad, you're putting in good grass, and it will establish its roots and you'll never know poatriv was there. So there's my 2 cents. If you use it, be patient, put it on there, let it ride. It's going to take a couple weeks for it to absorb, and then you should start seeing the brown spots. And then, like I said, you can tear out that dead grass, put some grass plugs in, or use your garden weasel and put some seed down. Alright guys, so the last part of this video we're going to talk about is a question that I get about this time, March, April. I get this question all the time. They see my Mr. Ferguson lawn care sign in the front yard, they see my yard, and they're like, "You're the one with the nice grass," or "Man, how'd you do that?" And my yard needs help. What would you advise? And so I get that every time from people in person. And there's a lot of people, as I mentioned in the past, that are coming out of their house. It's winter's over, spring's in the air, you get that spring feel, and you're like, man, this is the time to really work on my yard. Well, in regards to cool season fescue grass, obviously we want to work on that in the fall. The best time to plant that grass seed is fall time. Why? Because we want to establish those roots all through fall, all through winter. So when spring comes, right now, our grass is jumping up, it's growing, it's already had 6 months or so of root development already. And obviously the phosphorus in our starter fert helps to drive roots down as well. But when you get people that come up, here's what I typically tell them. I say the best thing you can do is, if you're talking about having a lawn like mine with fescue, is to go get you some Scott's Weed and Feed or Ace Hardware Weed and Feed. I believe the first thing I did when I got into lawn care and I got Alan Haynes' lawn care plan, I'm like, okay, I've got to wait till fall to do my aeration. I got to wait till fall to do my seeding, because that's when the appropriate time for it to be done is. I was learning. I was a noob to lawn care, right? So the first thing I did was take care of the grass that I had. I had thrown out seed in the past, in my lawn, and just said, well, it'll grow, and just walked away. Barely watered it any at all, just kind of threw seed out with my little Scott's push spreader, and said, okay, let's see what happens. I had weeds all over the place, didn't know what I was doing at all. So when I finally began to read the lawn care plan that I bought from Alan Hayne, he talked about planting your grass, your fescue lawn, in the fall time, so it has that time to establish the roots. So he said, if you're reading this prior to fall, take care of the grass you have. I was like, okay, that's what I'll do. So my recommendation for people that may be watching this video and you're just now like, I'm interested in this lawn care thing, but where do I start? Well, spring, if you're talking about cool season lawn, Bermuda, that stuff, that's a whole different topic that we don't cover warm season grass so much on my channel, because I have fescue and cool season grass. So if you're planning on having a Kentucky bluegrass, a fescue, a ryegrass lawn, which is cool season, the best thing you can do is get you some Weed and Feed. First thing is, you want to spread that out. You want to try to have the square footage of what your lawn space is. You want to take that Weed and Feed and cover it nicely, so that number one, you can kill the weeds that are existing that's going to pop up, because more than likely these people are not putting down pre-emergent, so they're going to have dandelions and weeds and clovers and all kinds of stuff in their lawn. So just putting down the Weed and Feed, you're going to feed the good grass, and you're going to eliminate the weeds that are in your lawn per se, most of it, with the 2,4-D that's in that Weed and Feed. So that's the first thing I do. I'm like, if you're really serious, then if they do that, okay, well maybe these people are actually serious about trying to have a nice lawn. And then you want to mow. You want to mow your good grass. Let's see how much good grass you got. So you're going to kill the weeds. You're going to mow the good grass you got. You're going to feed the turf that you do have, and then you're basically just going to wait it out until fall. Basically, you're going to maintain what you got, mow what you got. You may have to put down some more weed and feed, towards a month or two down the road to feed your good grass more. Let it grow, let it establish, and as Alan Haynes said, and I think it makes sense, if that good grass has been there for years, don't get rid of it, don't smoke it off, don't glyphosate it, let it stay. It's got to have good roots if it's been alive in a lawn that is not the best or greatest lawn. So that's my advice for everybody. I'm like, start with weed and feed, and green up what you got, mow what you got, deal with it. If you want to put some different type of fertilizer down, go get you some Milorganite. I think that's a great fertilizer to start with. It's so low in nitrogen. I put tons of Milorganite down on my lawn when I first started off, because they said you can't hurt it, it's organic. So dump as much as you want, spread it evenly as much as you want, and it was a dark green, nitrogen green color. And even though I didn't have a ton of green grass, I had a lot of POA. The POA was dying off, and I did have some grass, but it was mostly POA annua and weeds. I made that lawn look as best as I could, and I'll throw in some photos here of what it looked like before I got into the fall. But once fall time came, it was go time. I was excited, I was motivated, I was ready to aerate and loosen compaction. I bought my GCI turf seed because I had done my research, and that's the seed I wanted to plant. And when it first came up, man, it was the greatest feeling ever. So fall is when you want to do fescue. If you're talking about Bermuda and other things, Bermuda Grass Central talks about it, and there's tons of other channels dealing with warm season grass, talking about Bermuda and zoysia and St. Augustine and those type of grasses, golf course grasses that we see a lot here in North Carolina. So I just wanted to throw that out there. As I mentioned, if you're brand new, yes, you can do this. Check out Lawncare plans. Check out Pete Denny, GCI Turf. Check out Alan Haynes, the Lawncare Nut. Get their lawn care plan. Begin to thumb through that. Get familiar. Do some weed and feed in your lawn. Kill some weeds. You can get you a backpack sprayer. Gear up on these type things. And as we go in the fall and plant or use pre-emergent, we'll be talking you through it, and you can go through the rhythm and join in. But fall is when you really want to get in rhythm with the planting or the pre-emergent to be able to stop weeds in your lawn. So I hope that makes sense and encourages somebody that may be watching that's brand new. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hit the thumbs up, share it with your buddies that may be just starting out, or your wives or friends or whatever. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the comments. Check out channel memberships. Click the join button. Look at the 2 different small packages we got which go to support the channel. I appreciate you for all the support for our members. You get the videos early. You get some emotes. You get some other benefits, comments, first priority comments, all that stuff. So check that out. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Hope you have a fantastic weekend and a fantastic Friday. God bless. I'm going to go rest this voice.